there's a microphone right there to catch the last gurgles, and Technicolor to photograph the red swollen tongue.
Hey, Vern.
Future events such as these
Angling?
will affect you in the future.
Damn you, Rabbit! You smell like fucking piss!
You're watching The Projectors,
Hell yeah!
a film fan program discussing a variety of movies from history and around the world.
What do you think of this boner I got?
Featuring your hosts, Bob Sham
When you're Scandinavian, flopping out your mommy milkers is nothing.
and Angela.
If they were just gun perverts, this would be fine.
Party!
Thank you for selecting The Projectors.
I want French pancakes like at IHOP.
And now a preview of our film discussion.
The strength of the ancestors is here.
Live like this, baby. In hate.
If there is something you can do, then you must do it. The children. No, Spider. And we will find another way. Your goddess has no dominion here.
Hello, folks. It's hope you're having a good 2026 so far. We predicted it probably won't be any better than the previous year.
No.
I think it's off to a pretty shitty start.
Yeah.
You know?
It got like a running start, you know?
Yeah, it was
You
just
got
like
a shitty running start.
it's like you started the year with like full diarrhea. The equivalent. But we're here. We're here. And we're talking about some more current movies that we've been seeing lately, as you can see on our ticker. We're just talking about 3 movies in this session. In our next episode, we will have our first Trilogists episode in which we talk about Mission Impossible 1 through 3. One might say is like, what? Mission Impossible has like 8 movies, and
Doesn't matter.
I get it, but I feel like the first 3 are a specific thing, and then the 4th kind of sets the stage for the rest. That's just how I feel about it. It's an unofficial trilogy, but I think it's a trilogy nonetheless. And we're a little gussied up, aren't we?
Yeah, we look nice today.
Yeah, I mean, and you trim me up so I don't have my hat on.
Yeah.
So I'm showing off my...
You usually have your hat on.
Showing
You're
off
nice.
my skull, my bald-ass head.
But
I turned the overhead light off so I wouldn't shine as much.
I don't look as pale.
No.
I think
without maybe
the
this
overhead
lighting...
light.
And I keep forgetting that I can actually turn up manipulate the color and the brightness after the fact on our little OBS studio that we use here. The free version.
We're very high tech.
The free shit. Yeah, it's so high tech. I can't figure out how to make your camera not fuzzy.
If you're watching this on a bigger screen, I'm sorry.
Yeah, on the big. If you're watching this in a movie theater, you're like the image quality is not very
But
good.
also, like, why don't we know about that? If you're watching this in a movie
That would be
theater, we
weird.
should be there.
That sounds
probably.
like a dream where you're just you're like you're wandering around a mysterious theater and you walk into a theater hall and a bunch of people are just watching your podcast and just like no one's laughing at your jokes.
Oh God.
I'm pretty used to that.
Well, me
Pretty
more
used
than
to
you.
that. But look, before we get into our 3 movies, where we go to the planet of Pandora once again, and then we see what the Safdie brothers have been up to, because they have split, and they both put out a film of characters based on true characters, one more true than the other, who are athletes and obsessives of their sport in their own right. But before that, by the end of this month, we are going to get the nominations for the Academy Awards. And we don't know who's going to be nominated yet. But we're going to take this time right now to predict who we think will be nominated.
Yes.
And then from there, whoever's left that we haven't seen, I think we will then watch what's left, discuss them as we do. Although last year I was like, yeah, we'll go back and watch all the Best Picture.
We didn't.
We didn't. I decided I didn't want to.
We still haven't seen them all.
But I think I'll want to more this year.
Yeah, I want to this year.
There's still some from last year that I haven't seen yet that I do want to see, like Conclave or whatever, the Popey one.
I do as well. We were in a place last year where we needed to take the break that we took.
Oh, that's true. That was our break time.
We started our break and we're like, maybe we'll come back and watch all these films, and we just needed that break more than we even knew.
That's why, because we really had to break off and just kind of recalibrate our lives, which we're still kind of doing.
Yes.
But
isn't everybody always?
We're making 10 nomination predictions. And I don't know about your list, though I recommended you do this.
Yes.
That we can't just assume that only what we've seen is going to be nominated, because that would then it'd be like Avatar, Fire and Water is a nomination if we were doing that.
It's Fire and Ash.
I've been saying that wrong so much.
I didn't know the planet's name was Pandora. I've seen all 3 movies. I just watched this 3rd one. I didn't know that was the planet's name.
I just forgot, and then I was calling it Navi, like the planet Navi, but the people are Navi. But Pandora is the name of the planet. But Angela,
yes,
I want you to tell me what 10 Best Picture nominations you think. And I guess we need to should we come up with a prize or something?
I guess.
Other than bragging rights, if we get close. We could maybe buy each other a dinner, which we do all the time anyway.
Make dinner?
Yeah.
To cook a meal that the other person wants us to cook.
Okay.
Like, the other person gets to pick, the winner gets to pick, and the other person has to, go to the store, cook it, and clean the dishes.
Okay. All right. No problem. That sounds like a fun challenge.
And maybe we do that, on Oscar night.
Yeah. While the Oscars are on, I will be busy cooking. No, or you will.
I meant beforehand.
I feel pretty good about my list, but you go ahead and say what 10 movies you think will be nominated for Best Picture in this year's Academy Awards. Go ahead.
Okay. Here's my list. And I'm curious where we overlap. One Battle After Another, Sinners, Hamnet, Frankenstein, Sentimental Value, Marty Supreme, It Was Just an Accident, Begonia, Avatar, Fire and Ash. Listen, I looked it up. It's been other avatars have been nominated.
No, it's not a bad pick.
So I think it will be. And I chose to put one that I saw that I honestly didn't see on any list, and I know this might be losing for me, but I said Eddington.
Yeah. What about the Ice Cube War of the Worlds that everyone's been raving about all year? That's essentially an Amazon commercial.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
It's got like a 0%.
The other movie that I kept seeing, but I know nothing about really, is Train Dreams.
Yes, I've seen that name,
I didn't put it on my list, though.
I was looking up critics lists and kind of narrowing down what I think would work. So here's my list, and I think we're half there. Like maybe even a little more than half. I think we do share here.
Okay, I'm gonna take notes.
One Battle After Another.
Yep.
P.T. Anderson, Marty Supreme, Josh Safdie, Sinners, Ryan Coogler. I think those 3 are guaranteed nominations.
I do too. Those are the 3 that I feel the most positive about.
4, I picked also Hamnet by Chloe Zhao. They're just not even watching that movie. Like, it just looks like something that would.
Well, and it's got one of our fave guys in it.
Oh yeah, the guy who loves playing gay people. Maybe he's bi or something.
Listen, sexuality is a spectrum.
That's right. And I want to see Hamnet, but I've never read or watched Hamlet.
So, it doesn't matter.
But I want to watch that David. What is it? It's not David Tennant. It's the other guy who played Doctor Who. He's got a live at the Royal Theatre Hamlet that I actually do want to watch.
Okay, but Hamnet doesn't have anything to do with Hamlet.
Isn't Hamnet like his kid or something?
Yeah. It's the story of like his actual life and his child and wife.
Okay.
It doesn't have anything to do with the play. I mean, it could have inspired at some point, but I don't know that it matters.
It's in the Shakespeare cinematic universe, isn't it?
Hamlet?
Yeah, Hamnet.
Yes.
Is
not Hamnet. No, that's no, because Shakespeare didn't write it. It's
Oh, I just thought it was an
biopic.
extension. You know, I mean,
you did not. You're fucking with me.
Jack
now.
Kirby didn't write the Marvel
You're fucking
movies.
with me now.
All
yeah,
right.
but if there was a story about Jack Kirby's life, you wouldn't say that it's in the Jack Kirby
And
like body of
cinematic
work.
universe.
No.
Okay. Well, the point is, I also picked Hamnet. Begonia by Yorgos Lanthimos. You picked that, right?
Yeah.
I also picked Eddington. And Eddington is probably one of the movies that I've thought about the most this past year. And
Me too.
and I do think it's an outlier pick that I think deserves that nom. But we thought I almost said Marty is Afraid. Beau is Afraid would maybe get picked. But that movie is also, but I wasn't too surprised because that movie is bizarre as fuck.
Well, and I feel like Eddington is something that could get voted in just based on trying to do a point. You know what I mean? Like making a point about, hold on.
Our kitten is like a terrorist. We call her, that's her nickname, is terrorist.
Come here, what do you even have?
I heard our kitten wants to join ICE. That's what she whispers to me at night.
This is our, if you're
She's
watching
fucked
on
up.
YouTube, this is our kitten. She's probably going to try to eat my microphone, but
She said
very cute.
She said she wants to join ICE and she wants to find the Mexican Anne Frank.
Oh, God.
That's what she said. All right, don't put her up here. That's even worse.
We can at least keep an eye on her. Okay.
But Eddington, I feel like, is such a perfect modern film.
Yes.
And it has this, and a lot of people come up with weird interpretations of it because it's making the main character is this like dumbass conservative guy who's like scared of everything, basic reactionary, but it's also making fun of like liberal identity politics and how they handle these kind of issues as well. And I think when people see that, I think they mistakenly assume that it's trying to be a centered thing. I suspect that Ari Aster's politics are a lot more like my own, and in that left, dirtbaggy left sphere of things, you know, because it seems like those guys are the ones that are on the left that make fun of people who harp on identity politics and stuff. So moving on, Sentimental Value, Joachim Trier. That's made by this. I want to watch this because that's made by the same person who made The Worst Person in the World. Stellan Skarsgård is in it.
I knew Stellan Skarsgård was in it, and that made me want to see it.
So, and it's gotten
the fact that it's made by that person, I'm down.
I think it's definitely on, and I feel confident it will be nominated. Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro.
Yes, and this is one that I feel very torn about because I read some decent reviews.
Like Natalie and Bruglia, you were torn.
I was, because I've heard it's not that great.
I've heard some,
but I feel like it's just like rumblings. I can't really like put my finger on any like real criticism anyone has made on it.
I think the thing that I've heard good about it is the performances and the way the creature. Like I've heard good things about the creature.
Okay, I heard he was too pretty. But that wouldn't make me hate a movie. But
You know, when we watched what's the dude's name's Nosferatu, a lot of people complained about the style of Nosferatu,
Loved it.
and I thought that was like the way they reimagined that. I thought was actually pretty cool. So maybe I won't look. I mean, Frankenstein's a story that's been told 100 times, and if they experiment a little bit in that regard, so long as the performance is good, I'll be forgiving of any like visual reimaginations of the creature. You know.
sure.
And I do want to see it, and I haven't seen it. We haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
So I guess our list is like 8 out of 10 is word for word.
Well, what's your other?
So my other 2, whether or not we win or not, I mean, it could be like neither of our extra 2 get picked.
Sure.
And then what? Are we making dinner together?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, God, you'll be in the kitchen with me?
No, actually, we're not making dinner together.
All right.
You can make dinner and I'll make a pie.
All right, so the extra pick, what was your extra 2 picks again?
Avatar and It Was Just an Accident.
Okay.
Which is like a hot foreign film right now.
Yeah. I definitely recommended. Here's my foreign film is No Other Choice by Park Chan-wook. It's one of the most critically acclaimed. I believe it's Korean.
Okay.
It's one of the more critically acclaimed movies from that hemisphere. From what I read, it seems like it could be in there. And the 10th one is a bit of I kind of picked one that was like almost like an underdog pick. But Steven Soderbergh put out a fairly critically acclaimed movie starring Cate Blanchett and the guy who played Magneto. I'm forgetting this. Michael Fassbender. A spy movie about relationships called Black Bag.
Oh.
And this movie has appeared. I've seen it show up on a few critics' lists. And there's many movies that I couldn't fit on my list that do. But for some reason, I locked in on Black Bag. So I'm picking that as a nomination.
You know one that neither one of us picked, and I also didn't see on lists, but we talked about it last week?
The War of the Worlds with Ice Cube.
No, Friendship.
Oh, my God.
So I think neither one of us guessed it, so we don't get to claim it, but I think Friendship should be on this list.
I could see the Academy. They're so not kind to comedies.
This is true.
But
it could get a nom.
I've totally blanked on Friendship.
So good.
In my award movie, that is a nomination and a real contender.
Oh, yeah.
It is genuinely a hilarious, funny fucking movie.
Weapons is also on my personal list.
Yeah, I thought about Weapons, but I think Weapons will show up on there, but
I think it'll show up in awards. I don't know. Horror has a hard time in the top. Horror, fantasy, and sci-fi have a hard time in the top.
But yeah, Friendship we scored Friendship
comedy.
higher than Sinners. And maybe about similar to One Battle After Another was like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stick with this list that I got because I think Friendship would be a me pick that I think is worthy, but I think the Academy is gonna overlook it. And I think Eddington is a risk, even though I feel like it's one of the most prescient movies of our modern times.
It's so good.
But yeah, who knows? If I were to replace Friendship with a movie on my list, I might pick Begonia. But Begonia has a recency advantage, I think.
Yes.
And I think that might help it. It seems like things that are early in the year. Sinners has been buzz. People have been making sure to constantly talk about Sinners like all year. So I think that will be on there.
And didn't they recently in the fall come out with the new version that had the Black Sign Language?
They also have regular American Sign Language version as well.
Yeah.
Which, isn't there words? Isn't the words on the screen?
It's about representation more than...
Well, they did that with the American Sign Language, too.
Yeah, they
the
would.
regular one.
Yes, they would still do that.
I mean, I'm not... Look, hey, any option you can to absorb the movie, I'm not against. But I would just assume that the hearing impaired on any movie would just read the captions. That's all. That's just my first thought.
It's more about...
I do get it. I
don't think any other movie's ever done it.
Yeah, I know, because...
So it's a big deal.
But I think the reason a lot of movies haven't done it is because there's closed captioning.
Well, that and a lot... Well, yes, but also a lot of people, like... ignore it as its own thing.
I think people just don't
It is
know
its own
about
thing.
it.
Well,
I don't
and
know
I
if
think
it's
that's what this
willfully
is
ignored.
trying to educate.
Not by everyday people. What do you think is the most overrated movie on this list? I mean, excluding the ones we haven't seen, of course.
I would probably say Avatar. I enjoyed it, but I mean, it's just, I don't know, dude. The other ones on the
I
list,
understand what
to
you're
me,
saying.
are like, the ones we've seen are genuinely really excellent. And that one, was fun and good, but I'm not going to pretend that it's on the level of One Battle After Another or Eddington. It's just not.
Yeah, and I mean, people love Sinners. And I do think there's like moments in Sinners that is genuinely special. That evokes a real emotion. But I don't necessarily think it's doing that throughout the movie.
I wonder.
It's like in spots, this movie seems to shine brighter than maybe many other movies in the year. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's like holding that the whole way through. So only in comparing to the other movies that we've seen, maybe it's on par with like Marty Supreme. But I don't think it's better than Eddington or One Battle After Another, or as we mentioned earlier, Friendship.
No, I don't either. And one of the bigger problems I had with it is one of the things that a lot of people love about it, but they really didn't need our guy playing twins. We just did not need that.
We mentioned that in our recording and how, like, yeah, I don't see, and this may be something we'll say about The Rock's role, who got really praised in The Smashing Machine. I didn't see Michael B. Jordan really doing anything that was like stretching his capabilities in that movie.
And at times, it was genuinely confusing.
Yeah.
Who we were talking about. Once they took their hats and jackets off, I don't fucking know who anybody is unless they're having sex with somebody. Okay, so also, I have a wish for the Oscars that song gets nominated and that they do a performance of that with all the people from the different generations. How amazing would that be?
I would be shocked if that doesn't happen.
It has to happen.
So we got our lists. I'll post them both up on the screen right now. So we'll see who. It's down to like 2 movies, a 2-movie difference. So if one of our 2 movies that isn't of the 8 that we picked does get picked, it seems like that's the person who wins.
But I also have one. So if one of us gets one and the other one gets one, our tiebreaker, it'll be really, really long shot. But if also, like, say, Friendship, you get a point, and Weapons, I'll get a point.
Oh. What do you mean? But we didn't put it on our list. How would we get points?
I'm just saying it would be a tiebreaker. Because if you get one of your 2 that we didn't match on and I get one of my 2, we'll still tie.
I guess we'll just go out to eat if that's the case.
Sure.
It's like we do 100 times. So that's our Oscar nomination predictions. Who's going to be right? Who's making what? I wonder what food you're going to cook for me. What am I going to make you cook? I'll probably just have you make a lemon meringue pie because those are my favorites. But onward, as we talk about, can we go back to our favorite planet in a galaxy far, far away? Pandora. Now, if you look up we have an epic sci-fi fantasy 6-pack that we discussed, not last year, but the year before, when we leading into Star Wars month, which is May of 2023. Leading to that, we have a 6-pack episode. And in that episode, we talked about the first 2 Dune movies. That guy, Denis Villeneuve. Mm-hmm. The first 2 Avatar movies, which was the first time we saw those movies. And look, I'm a James Cameron apologist. He's my favorite billionaire. If I had to pick a billionaire, I'd probably pick James Cameron. I mean, there should be no billionaires.
He's made some really excellent movies.
There should be no billionaires. But if I had to pick one, I'm picking the most anti-imperialist billionaire we got. People do question I get it because the movies are very simple. Like, they're not complicated at all.
But they're beautiful.
They're great to look at. And people are like, I think that these movies are essentially anti-imperialist. Mm-hmm. But I think what confuses people is how cool all this shit looks by the humans. Especially like crab mechs and shit like that.
They're bad.
But they're bad. Even though their gear looks cool as fuck.
You know what's cooler? Nature.
That's right. And the great tree. But this Avatar Fire and Ash, it did not pop off like the first 2 did. You know, that first one came out many years ago, and then it was like 10 years later the second one. So we just a few years later, and we're already back to Fire and Ash. Allegedly, I've heard, this may or may not happen, it just depends on what old Jimmy wants to do, that I think in interviews he was like, well, the movie's got to make its money back. You know, I feel like he was being very cautious. And I think he has on his plate, he wants to do a movie about the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, almost like the other end of Oppenheimer or something, right? Which I hope he does, because look, I'll go see Avatar. I like these movies well enough. They do something for me, and I think the villain in these Avatar movies
makes the movie.
Colonel Quaritch is one of the most underrated villains in pop culture. Like, I genuinely think he is extremely compelling, as played by Stephen Lang. He's not dead. By the way, spoilers, okay? Spoilers,
but we're not going to go beat by beat on this because it's in the theater. You should go see it if you want to see it.
There's a bad Navi that live on a volcano.
The fire
Navi, and they're crazy, man. They'll light themselves on fire. I hope that wasn't all of the Wind Traders that ever were when they destroyed the Wind Traders. I was like, I hope that's not all. I hope the whole tribe wasn't there, because we get introduced to the Wind Traders,
and they're cool.
They're traveling with the Wind Traders, and the Wind Traders get fucked up by the Fire Navi. But the thing is, Avatar: Fire and Ash is really just like a turned up version of the second one.
Yeah, because they start out still in the same place with the water people.
Yeah.
But they know that the humans are coming back again, and they don't want to... They want the kid. They want... What's his face? Monkey boy.
Yeah, Spider.
They want Spider because Spider...
Spiderheads, you got your movie.
Yeah, so
you're a big Spider fan?
Almost gets killed by these fire folks. And baby Sigourney Weaver is able to like get him to connect to the mother of the planet and nature, whatever, so he can start where he can breathe. So then the Americans, the whole movie is just the Americans want to get him because they want to figure out how he can breathe so that they can colonize the planet.
Yeah. And it's wild that this kid has to breathe through these masks, and like that's how he lives.
And they only have 2 of them.
Yeah. I think one of your bigger complaints about this movie is I forget these characters' names. I'm sorry. I remember Jake Sully and Quaritch. But the Sigourney Weaver character, like the kid that is reborn, essentially the spirit of Sigourney Weaver's character. How she is just kind of like this MacGuffin, right? And the things that like turn the tide have to do with her and her connection with Pandora, or whatever they call the goddess that they worship. And there's a point where you kind of see, it looks really cool, where you see she's talking to the god and you see the face turn,
the
and
mother goddess,
and it looks like kind of human, like looking at the face. And that part was kind of cool. But she is just kind of like this. It's like reading a comic book where you're reading it and Spider-Man is trapped by Dr. Octopus and shit looks hairy, but you know Spidey's going to get out of it. And what's going to happen? And you know Jake Sully's going to get out of that cell. And you know this young Navi with the voice of his 60-something-year-old woman is going to tap into the mysteries of Pandora and turn the tides.
Yeah, and I see within the next one her becoming the spiritual leader of this group of people. But I don't know. They might stretch that out even further. But you're right. Even when the shit starts going down, she doesn't really do anything until all hope is almost lost.
I think when you're in the moments of the action itself, it is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have any doubt like, oh no, this is the end of Jake Sully. Like, you don't have that moment. Even though in the second movie, one of his kids dies, which is a pretty shocking thing.
Yes.
But he has like 3 of them, so you can stand to lose one.
He's got like 3, and then he takes in everybody's children. One of the things I liked the most about this one is with the Colonel. Is it Colonel?
Colonel Quaritch, yeah.
Colonel Quaritch. You know, the man Colonel Quaritch died, and his essence is now in an avatar forever. In this one, Jake points out to him that he's more Navi than human. He is a Navi.
I
And
like
if
those
he would
parts.
just open his eyes to what all this land and people can offer, it would be so much bigger than this like military job that he's trying to do. And he does, through the course of this movie, he gets with the fire people.
Which you kind of saw that coming. He kind of does come, without saying as much, he does come to the conclusion that Jake did in the first movie.
Yes.
He just does it through these psychotic versions of Navi, because he found these Navi that
They want guns and they like fire.
They understand
Yeah.
how each other think.
You want to spread your fire across the world? Yeah. I'll give you guns. I'll give you comms. RPGs. Well, that's strong magic. Command from a distance. Strike like lightning. The clans. As far as you can fly.
And it's so not a surprise when Quaritch and the fire Navi lady hook up. Like, it's so like, I saw that coming 1,000 miles.
Was she the only fire lady?
Yeah.
It was a lot
they
of
were
fire
all
men,
dudes.
and she was the queen of them.
Now that I think about it, she was the only lady fire Navi we saw, and she was like the leader.
There was a part where he comes out towards the end and he has the body paint on and he's painted like them. And that's when you realize he's
in.
The other thing is that he wants a relationship with Spider because Spider is his son. And they do clear up in this movie one of the issues we had in 2 where they explain that baby Sigourney Weaver is a clone. Sigourney Weaver had this baby, but she's like part Sigourney Weaver, part goddess. And they explain that Spider really is his kid and his mother died in war. And that's why he has no mom. But he wants a relationship with Spider. And Spider is of this world. So that's the other thing. Like, he really, in moments, is torn.
Like Natalie Imbruglia,
He
torn.
really is. And that
But he does,
made the movie for me.
But he ends up becoming like half Navi. I mean, this movie does sell you on Spider a little bit better. It works with that character because when you first see Spider in the second, you're just laughing. It's just this white boy with dreads,
And like
trying to be Jungle
cat
Boy.
tattoos.
Yeah. And the hissing is funny too when they hiss at each other.
I have to say that this is the first one. The first 2 movies we watched at home. This movie we saw in 3D and IMAX. And I'm just going to, for the record right now, I do not want to see a 3D movie in the theater again. I had such a headache. But IMAX is cool. This movie was the first time that I have been distracted by how cat-like they are. I could not stop staring at their cat noses.
They're kitty people.
They really are. And the big goddess, that's their mommy.
That's their mommy. The theater we went to wasn't like full on. Like it looked good, but the 70 millimeter IMAX is in Opry Mills, so
we didn't make it to that one.
We probably should have went there, and I think we will go there for the Odyssey when that gets released.
Yes, I'm so excited about the Odyssey.
But yeah, we've gotten into this place where we do want to kind of participate in these big budget cultural movies. Like we've become so balanced in our movie consumption.
Yeah.
Like we're showing up for all of them. We're showing up for the big budget, like that's getting all the press, and we're going for like fucking Hong Kong re-releases from 40 years ago. Like we're really doing it. Hard Boiled is getting re-released around my birthday, and I think we're going to go check that out.
We are. We also want to regularly go to the movie theater because we want to support movie theaters.
It also just feels like right now the one thing that's keeping us going and keeping us feeling cultural and keeping us like, it is an art, of course. And I am worried about theaters in the future and where it's going to go. But this movie, it took a bit, but it did clear $1 billion worldwide. So our friend Jimmy was a little concerned at first. He's probably going to make one more. It definitely feels like it's open for another. I think he should end it at 4. I think he should stop because I echo a lot of other people when I do want to see him do other things.
Yes.
I think he has accomplished something amazing with Avatar. He has set the standard. He is that inventive guy in his field. In his field, he is what Elon Musk pretends to be. Like, James Cameron actually is the inventive human, the guy who's setting standards, who's changing the game in his own field.
He creates technology
he
every
really
time
does.
he makes a movie. He's advancing the art of making movies like this.
And he has this instinct for what people want, and it's kind of amazing how he's managed to tap into that.
I think I'd be fine if he stopped now even, but I think it really just comes down to, because this one did make enough money, it's just how many stories he feels like he has to tell in his head. He, sadly, he doesn't have decades left.
He's much older.
And so I think for his sake, I just hope he makes whatever he wants to make.
Yeah. So I guess the big difference is, if you remember the big epic water battle in the second one, where the one whale breaks from, I forget what they're called, but they're highly intelligent whale creatures that the water Navi worship, and one breaks off and fights with them. Well, in this one, finally, the rest of them are like, you know what? Pacifism is not the way. Yeah. We gotta go hard on these MFers. And
they're going to kill all of them at once.
Also, Mrs. Soprano is kind of the more consistent. I mean, there's like 3 solid villains here, but she is, I forget her name, Nurse Jackie.
Yeah.
Why can't I remember? I feel bad. She's in one of my favorite shows of all time.
We love her so much.
Edie Falco.
I was going to say, if you'd asked me, not on
like
mic.
a month ago, yeah. When we watched Sopranos for the 4th time. But yeah, now what would you rate Avatar Fire and Ash?
I did think it was really fun. I thought it was really beautiful. I really, really love the whale stuff. I am going to give this one a 3.25.
I think I'm at a, because I love my Colonel Quaritch so much, and I kind of did like the Fire Navi, and I like that subtle story of Colonel Quaritch going, quote unquote, native in his own path, in his own way. I do think that character is so underrated. But I'm going to go, but I can't really go higher than a 3.5, considering the balance of the tropes of it. I mean, a beautiful fucking movie, but that's like the guarantee when you walk in.
Absolutely.
So I think a 3.5 is a worthy score. So that's a 6.75.
Yes. And if you've ever wondered, should whales wear jewelry? The answer is yes.
Yeah, they need big earrings.
They look good.
Now, I do hope that James does do the Hiroshima and Nagasaki movie, if he really wants to do that, if that buzz is true. I think maybe he should leave the 4th Avatar to the reunited Safdie brothers. They should come together and make... They should get the Safdie brothers on Pandora, and let's see what they do with Colonel Quaritch.
I feel like they'd be like, we're good.
It'd be like...
It's not their style.
They would focus on Colonel Quaritch's dirtbag tension through the whole movie. Things would be talking much faster.
Hello?
Hey, it's Marty Mauser. I'm in the Royal Suite. I saw you in the lobby yesterday.
Okay.
Well, I never talked to an actual movie star. You know, I'm something of a performer, too.
Are you?
Yeah, you don't believe me? You what? You what? You got the Daily Mail in front of you?
This is you?
Yeah, the chosen one. It's a nice picture, right?
I have a purpose. And if you think that's some sort of blessing, it's not. It means I have an obligation to see a very specific thing through. And with that obligation comes sacrifice.
Everything in my life's falling apart, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Do you need any help? I could help you.
I know it's hard to believe, but I'm telling you, this game, it fills stadiums overseas. And it's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
I'm not trying to control you, Marty.
It's unacceptable! It's unacceptable!
But I don't think you understand the stakes.
You have no power here.
What do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work out?
It doesn't even enter my consciousness. Now look at this. It's an orange ball, which no one's ever thought of. See, you're already following it way better. Look at his eyes. You're looking more engaged now.
Buddy, custom ball like that is going to cost a lot of money.
Of course it's custom. It's an original ball for an original guy. It's a Marty Supreme one, not the Marty normal ball.
Our next movie that we're discussing here, we went to the theaters just fucking yesterday. This released on Christmas, so we're just now getting to it. I think it was only like third at the box office, but I feel like the media, the film media that is like pushing this almost as much as you would an Avatar in terms of like, you got to see it. Because of course this is the time of the year from November up to around now where all those Oscar buzz things are getting shoved down. The way people talk about movies online, I shouldn't get into this aside.
No.
But people are kind of complaining about movies that are talked about a lot. And it's like, and also people are forcing everything to be compared to Sinners because people are obsessed with Sinners and they want it to win everything. And because of Sinners really struck a chord with like a lot of people. And it's a black made movie with a predominantly black cast. Of course, One Battle After Another is like 3/4 of black cast as well. But yeah, there's just something about that. People are really have an emotional tether to Ryan Coogler in that movie. Even though I do think it's going to be worthy of its nominations, but like earlier we named like 4 films that we think are better. Yeah. But there I've noticed a lot of comparisons. I was reading a lot of comparisons to Marty Supreme and Sinners, which still thematically seems weird to compare.
That is bizarre.
But I think one of the fair criticisms was how Sinners was discussed in the media when it came out at first, because it kind of did become this major thing because it didn't hit right at first, and then word of mouth caught fire for that movie. Like, and that movie ended up making like more money than the dirt sheets were claiming it was going to. And Marty Supreme, it seems like the dirt sheets are talking up Marty Supreme a lot, when really it's not really like, it was only like third on Christmas. Like, it may not be, I don't even know if Marty Supreme has made its money back yet.
There was a lot of people in the theater with us yesterday, though. For it to have been out.
We went to our indie theater, our Belcourt theater, yeah. That's true. It seems like people, maybe similar to Sinners, that after the fact, people are like, okay, we got to go see this Marty Supreme movie.
Word of mouth, and I also think, like, with Sinners, people don't want to tell you. They just want you to go watch it. You know, like, I don't feel like we're being inundated with what Marty Supreme is about, just that we need to see it.
I think the conversation I came across, and I think it was a conversation that references the racism or how hard it is for black made movies to get. And I do think they do make a point here that Sinner's slow start was doom and gloom, but Marty Supreme's slow burn was, it didn't get that doom and gloom. It was like a lot more like praise up, praise up. So in that respect, I understand the complaints. But as far as comparing movie to movie, I don't know. If I would not pick Sinners as my best pick, and as much as I did enjoy the movie, and as much as I feel like there is that Ryan Coogler can take the elements that felt extremely special in Sinners, and I still think he has it in him to make that movie where all those special moments feel completely evenly distributed through the movie.
I'm excited for what he'll do.
I mean, the man has skills. I'm not denying that. There's just something about him, and no matter what the dirt sheets say, like, he is a guy that has reached a position where people will go see his movies. That defies any like doom and gloom dirt sheet that talks about him. He's in that status, and you can't take that away from him. And I think at this point, studios definitely understand that. So, but comparing, but it just seems like beyond that, these what's good and what isn't, these comparisons feel so forced, and it seems like Sinners fanatics are comparing Sinners to absolutely everything, so where if people are going to be really upset if Sinners doesn't win like 10 Academy Awards, and is Sinners going to be kind of sometimes the Academy really does kind of give it to that feel-good cultural bending moment more so than you would think like the more technically better movie would be.
Sure.
The Academy will do that sometimes. It wouldn't surprise me if Sinners does win Best Picture, but I don't know. It's hard to say what the Academy wants.
Today we're not talking about Sinners. Today we're talking about...
Yeah, go earlier in the year we talked about Sinners, but we're talking about Marty Supreme, and this is Josh Safdie's movie. We're talking about two separate... The brothers split up. We're talking about their two movies
that came out this year.
Came out this year. And this movie has that classic, I called it dirtbag tension of the Safdie movies, you know, kind of thinking of what the brothers brought to it. Seems like Benny is the writer and the actor. But Josh, you know, this movie matches Good Time and Uncut Gems.
Yes.
In that tension, in these characters who are just kind of pushing and pushing and pushing, who almost have this compulsion to either just be the biggest pieces of shit, but they do have a goal. You know, in Good Time, he's kind of pivoting around these moments, and he's a dirtbag, but he is trying to help his brother. And in Uncut Gems, he's a fucking degenerate gambler who kind of wins, right? Doesn't he actually win? And there's kind of that as well here. But I think you can genuinely question how much this character of Marty Mauser, as played by
Timothy
Chalamet, who I think this might be his best performance that I've seen so far. And he's playing a character, a table tennis legend.
Do the rundown.
Oh, yes. Directed by Marty Supreme, directed by Josh Safdie, written by Ronald Bronstein and Josh Safdie, based on a book about the life of Marty Reisman. But it's not meticulously copied.
It really is based on. It's
very much an outline.
Inspired by, not a biopic.
And it stars Timothy Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Odessa A'zion, Kevin O'Leary, Tyler O'Conma, which is Tyler the Creator.
So good.
Abel Ferrara and Fran Drescher.
I hope that Tyler the Creator gets... was his part big enough to be a supporting actor?
Yeah, I mean, he is a supporting actor. I don't know if he was really beyond... I don't know if he really worked beyond... I mean, his character was enjoyable, but I think Tyler, the Creator, just has natural charm.
Sure.
And
absolutely.
I think that's how that came through in the movie. I think you would get that level of charm in any situation with Tyler, the Creator. But there's all kind, like I mentioned, Abel Ferrara, the notorious crime director of New York films. He's you think of movies like The King of New York. We'll be doing, when we do our state movies and we discuss Alabama, we'll be just doing his Body Snatchers movie, The Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel. Like his movies don't blow up the box office, but they have over the years managed to find their influence amongst people, especially people like us who like crime movies.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really cool to see Abel Ferrara. And then Penn Jillette was in this movie. Unrecognizable. We had to look up after the fact. Like, I saw his name in the credits. I was like, which one was Penn Jillette?
We couldn't even find a photo. I had to find an article.
He was the New Jersey redneck who was keeping Abel Ferrara's dog in the movie. And then Fran Drescher, who... that's someone that I've always liked anyway.
Oh, yes. She was great in this.
Then you got people like... I mean, there's tons of people.
And beautiful.
Yeah, she is. Still.
Absolutely.
Sandra Bernhardt.
Love.
Classic comedian. Isaac Mizrahi is in this. David Mamet plays the director of the play that Gwyneth Paltrow is in. Like, and not just that. Like, Josh Safdie and whoever helped cast this movie have put, like, similar to Uncut Gems... like, in Uncut Gems, there was an actual jeweler in New York City that was in the movie playing a jeweler.
Yeah.
That same guy is in this movie. Like, there are table tennis players that we won't know about. There's authors, playwrights, politicians, athletes are in this movie playing these extremely small roles. Like, the amount of actual extras that they have is so minimal. But, like, if you don't know, you could blink and you miss. Yeah. There are, like, culturally significant people, especially centered around New York City, that are all over this movie. But one character is the conservative Quebec politician Kevin O'Leary, who plays the he's kind of the villain, right? Even though our lead, Marty, is a bit of a villain in his own way. He plays Milton Rockwell, a businessman who Marty is constantly trying to get to fund his endeavors to get to Japan.
He's one of those sharks.
Yeah, he's in Shark Tank, which we don't watch that show,
No.
but I recognize his face from maybe clips and stuff.
Yeah. His face was recognizable, but I didn't know at that playing a dirtbag rich man. He did a good job.
Now, speaking of like when we mentioned, the politically lefty movies, I've heard the Safdie brothers interviewed on Chapo and shit like that. So I suspect that these guys are in that realm too. Mm-hmm. So this idea that Josh would have this Canadian hard right politician who openly supports Trump playing essentially like the businessman dirtbag in this movie, I get it. I get why he would pursue that. And I can't deny that Kevin O'Leary did a good job in this movie being this like very cynical business dirtbag guy.
But I think both of the Safdie brothers, because we can talk about this later with our other movie, they're really good at taking people and bringing out just their essence of who they are to play the role better than maybe an actor could who has to learn all of this stuff,
I mean, I mentioned a lot of small roles here played by a lot of people who do a lot of different things. A lot of these people aren't like trained actors.
Right.
So, but I can't, unlike maybe the other Safdie movie we'll talk about, I could not really find any fault in the acting portrayals of these small roles.
No.
It seemed like Josh successfully pulled out everything within this environment that he created that felt like it fit really well.
Absolutely. Even the guy that works at the shoe shop with him, even the policeman, like they all had, they were all really good. The guy who's like the commissioner of the ping pong tournament, even. He was great.
Yeah. And like these small roles really worked. It kind of reminds me of, I feel this way about Michael Mann, the way he can really pull his small roles seem to be so like layered and like there's something that feels relevant there, even though it seems like we're getting so little. To pull that out, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you're halfway to good directing if you're able to do that, because we talk about directors all the time, Mr. Shyamalan, who don't seem to do a great job pulling out these roles of people who don't have that experience, But this is based on table tennis legend Marty Reisman, loosely based, who, as when I was reading a little bit on Marty Reisman, he even seems like, I mean, we get some real con artistry from Marty in this movie, but just as I briefed over Marty Reisman's actual life, he's really even a bigger shark than even it felt like it was in the movie. Like there's stories about him being 15 years old. It's like 1947, and he's in like these underground ping pong clubs.
He was a champion at 13.
Pulling out $500 bills, like flopping them out and hooking people with like hundreds of dollars. A 15-year-old kid in freaking New York pulling out $500 in 1948. That's like some wild ass shit.
Yeah.
That feels like gangster shit.
The thing about our Marty, though, is nothing quite works the way...
The approach of his con artistry here is that he's constantly trying to manipulate to get what he wants. He's very much a narcissistic guy. He comes off a bit sociopathic.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't seem like he necessarily convinces people as much as he just like, they just agree to him just so he'll leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah, and he doesn't think towards the future other than... I've got to get to this tournament and I'm going to do anything I can in the interim to get there. But he's, fuck people over, leave them behind, steal, mess shit up.
He's very much locked in on his destiny to go to Japan and play and beat the biggest ping pong player in the world who lives in Japan.
Do you make money at this little table tennis thing?
Not yet.
Do you have a job?
No.
How do you live?
Well, I live with the confidence if I believe in myself, the money will follow.
There's a moment when he says to Rachel, who has been his friend since they were kids, she actually gets pregnant with his baby very early on. I did not like the scene at the very, very beginning where they showed the sperm going into the egg. Very Look Who's Talking.
I knew you were going to say, it made you think of Look Who's Talking.
How can you not? Look Who's Talking and then, I don't know, she hate me? Come on, guys.
Oh, and she hate me?
We don't need to look at sperms
It's okay. I don't mind being reminded of She Hate Me.
I don't mind it either necessarily, but it felt weird. I'm just saying that's one of my few critiques of this movie. That and the song at the end. But he has this conversation with Rachel when he says to her that like he has a purpose. He has a reason for living, and every decision that he makes is to that end, to getting to that place. And he says to her, I don't even know why you make the decisions that you make. You're just living a regular life. And he basically tells her that his purpose is more important than her
baby, her life,
their baby, her
whole
happiness.
life. Yeah,
her whole life.
It's more important than his. It's not like Fran Drescher. Is she
He's
like
straight up rude to his mommy?
Is that
She's
really
mom.
is that really his mother? I thought they mentioned that. Oh, he could have been lying when he said he wasn't.
Lied.
Or
He was
right. He's a liar as well. I think my favorite side character in this movie, though, as much as you like Tyler Creator, I got to give it up for Geza Rohrig, who played Bella Kletzy, who was his partner when they're going to London. And the Kevin O'Leary, when he meets the Kevin O'Leary character, he's introduced to Marty, and the Bella character is there. And they notice they have the numbers from Auschwitz on Bella's arm. And the Kevin O'Leary's character says to him, you know, my son died so you could be free. And then Marty goes like, he turns to Bella and he goes, wasn't it the Soviets that liberated Auschwitz? And it's like, that is true. It was the Soviets that did it. And he's like, yeah, that's true.
He admits that his son died in the South Pacific, I believe.
He died in the Pacific Theater fighting Japan.
Yeah.
But it's so funny that like he just felt like, I mean, it's just a bit of anti-Semitism from that character where he just looks at a Jewish person and he kind of
is like, you owe me.
And he kind of blames them a little bit for their son dying when it was Japanese people that did kill his son, and he has no problem catering to the Japanese for business purposes
because that
for the
will
rest
make
of
him
the movie.
money.
Yeah,
but he'll take the ideas from the Jewish guys and then go get all the money from the Japanese folks.
And there's this amazing aside in this movie, and I think Josh Safdie actually heard this story from a Holocaust survivor about where Bella tells a story about how they taught him how to disarm bombs. So they sent him out to disarm bombs, and one time he finds a honey hive, and he rubs the honey all over his torso and body and puts his prisoner's clothes on, and he comes back to the camp and he lifts his shirt up, and all the malnourished prisoners are licking the honey off of his like hairy ass chest. We didn't get like a lot of flashbacks or anything in this movie at all, but
that one
was powerful enough to definitely include, even though it didn't seem to be a very flashback heavy movie. But I really enjoyed that character quite a bit, and that conversation that and everything is centered. The Kevin O'Leary's character, his son gets brought up multiple times because Marty lies. He straight up insults his dead son. He's like, I forget what he says, but he like swears on his dead son or something.
Yeah.
He insults Marty, and then Marty insults his dead son, and he says, and Marty speaks very quick. He's like, there you go. Now we're even.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we're even.
You said something insensitive. I said something insensitive.
And but
he's also fucking the guy's wife, so like.
Yeah, that's true. He's Gwyneth Paltrow is an actress, movie star by the name of Kay Stone, who's kind of in her twilight years, and yeah, she doesn't trust him, but she is drawn to him, and
the audacity of him. You know,
there was a time, and I had to make myself stop doing this, where I was accusing too many characters of having autism. Mm-hmm. It became too much tropey in general, so I had to pull back. And frankly, autism is a lot harder to read than I gave it credit for.
Yeah.
But one thing I can read, I feel like pretty accurately now, because I was diagnosed as such a couple of years ago, is ADHD. And I just definitely read that with Marty. And Marty in this sense, and I think it's clear by the end when we get to, we don't want to go beat for beat.
No.
But a whole bunch of crazy shit happens until Marty does actually get to fulfill in his own roundabout way the dream that he wants to fulfill.
He gets to prove something to himself and to the world that can't be denied.
But at the end, he does reunite with his well, it's not a relationship until the end.
They are best friends.
Yeah. And she has his baby. And so it's look, like I said, spoilery, but I want to talk about this part.
Yeah.
Where it kind of appears that really through no true punishment of Marty's misdeeds, that his life is now going to become focused that of a father. And when I make this prediction as to what's going to happen in their future, I'm not trying to predict what happened with Marty Reisman's life. I think that's separate from where we go with Marty Mauser.
Sure.
Marty Mauser and
Marty Reisman kept doing shit till he was like 6. He won a tournament at like 63, I think.
He stayed hustling.
Yeah.
But there's almost this implication that by the end of the movie that Marty did what he wanted to do, that thing that he was so driven to do, that he put so much hyper focus into, that he fucked everything around him essentially and lied to everything around him to accomplish. And now with the Everybody Wants to Rule the World song, the world is now his son, and now he's going to have a relationship with his friend who he knocked up. But I think that I know when that ADHD brain, that dopamine hits when there's chaos. Yeah. Like when your back is against the wall, it seems like when you think like that, then you can really accomplish things, do things when you're pivoting around this chaos. It's often said that people who have a lot of ADHD tend to handle chaos surprisingly well and are really bad at mundane things.
They get bored. Yeah. It's more exciting.
But in Marty, the way Marty's going to go, if he goes into true domestication, he will just be kind of... He's destined to be depressed if he's locked in to a typical fatherhood life. Marty his feet isn't to the fire. He's pretty much, it's not going to be fulfilling to him. So similar to the ending of Hannah and Her Sisters, Rod did not buy the happiness there.
Yeah.
I'm kind of not buying the happy future here either.
No, I don't really either, because I see, him leaving Rachel at home with the baby alone every night so that he can go down to the ping pong hall and hang out with his friends, go ride around with Tyler, the Creator. He's going to he needs excitement in his life of some sort. He's not going to be happy just going to work for his uncle at the shoe store. He's just not.
Manager? Come on, Murray.
Whatever you do, just don't tell Lloyd about
Look,
this,
I've been very clear with you, all right? I'm not trying to be disrespectful. You built something very commendable here, and it's been good for my soul. But I don't want to
discuss this now.
Stop. Let me say something. It's been good for my soul to see this up close and personal.
I don't want to.
I'm not a shoe salesman. I'm not a shoe salesman.
Okay, well, see, I don't want to discuss this.
No, but I do want to discuss it now, because when I'm back from my trip, this is over. I'm not coming back here and doing this. Speaking of which, can we settle up now? I gotta buy my plane tickets.
And that's Marty Supreme. I think that's about all we'll go into it.
I did just want to say my one other criticism, the only two I have.
Right, let's talk about the music of the movie.
Music. So the music for me was great the whole time. I really didn't notice. Bobby told me that at the beginning they were doing some kind of 80s synth stuff, but it didn't really clock for me.
Kind of like the new wavy songs.
But at the very end, when, Marty's looking at his son, they start playing
Everybody Wants to Tears for Fears, I think.
Rule the World. And it just hit it felt melodramatic to me. It felt too heavy-handed. And in a movie where I didn't feel like that was the case in any other moment, I really thought this movie was excellent.
I had an expectation of that song, and I can't remember why. Maybe I heard it in a trailer or something.
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Maybe.
But in the beginning, I recognized and thought, that's interesting. This movie takes place in the early 50s. And, yeah, we're getting, some 80s new wave tracks. So it wasn't as shocking to me when I saw it. But I can understand why it seemed a little awkward for you.
It did. Because I immediately thought, oh, that's the 80s. And then I was like, are they trying to say something with this? Maybe his kid will be one of those dads that puts his whole future into his child, and his kid's going to be playing ping pong in the 80s.
Yeah, that's it. He's going to hyper focus on the kid to the degree that
he will have a bad relationship.
And have a terrible relationship, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely convinced they're not having a good relationship. So, Yeah, the music also plays such a particular role in the next Safdie movie we'll watch. I keep wanting to say Safdie brothers, but it's only one brother per movie. But what do you give Marty Supreme?
I'm giving Marty Supreme a 4.
I think I could go a 4.25 for me.
That's fair.
So that's an 8.25 for Marty Supreme. And I think a lot of that is based on the acting, the roles, the setting, the look of the movie, everything, the tension of the movie, which I like about Safdie Brothers movies. A lot of people may think that Marty doesn't get his comeuppance, but I think there is, like I said about what I think about what will happen with their relationship, I don't think he truly... I think it may be a little sad because Marty kind of peaks in that moment when he goes to Japan and he manages to challenge in that exhibition and succeed.
Well, and that's the thing. When you said that, it's not true that there's no repercussions. He has lost his career. And if he'd been able to go fight in that or not fight, but go play in that tournament, he would not have come home to Rachel and the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel and the baby would probably move in with his mom. You know, that just wouldn't have happened. It would have been a different story. But because he did lose his career, he went home to what he had left, and it's his new family.
I read this quote from Marty Reisman about like how he approached the table tennis, and I think this is one for one with Marty Supreme's character, where maybe you wonder why it doesn't appear like there's just some intense passion more than just a drive to win. And that Marty Reisman, I read a quote where he's like, I never played a table tennis game for fun in my whole life.
He was just good at it, and he knew he could.
He wanted to destroy. He wanted to win. He wanted to make money.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. And he picked one of the weirdest sports you could think of to try to be rich. But
that's what he was good at.
I think at the end of the day, it was more the personality of Reisman that came to the top more than anything.
The idea, too, I never knew it was a thing. I'm assuming this is real, and in the Marty Reisman days, that there's ping pong halls like there are pool halls.
Yeah.
That's not a thing now.
It was an underground thing.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You could do ping pong tournaments at the bowling alley.
I kind of wish I could go see a line of ping pong tables in any random place I go into. So 8.25 for Marty Supreme. We liked it quite a bit.
Yes.
Probably looking at my eyes.
How did that happen?
Well, have you ever heard of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the UFC?
That's the bloody thing they're trying to ban.
This guy is the best he has ever seen.
Do you hate each other when you fight?
Absolutely not.
How do you know Mark Kerr?
Oh, we go way back. But he's a buddy of mine.
Come on, baby. Too much?
Never.
Too much?
No.
Please welcome in his Octagon debut, Mark Kerr!
Winning is the best feeling there is. It's 40,000 people, and they're cheering you on. There's no other high like it in the world. No contract, no money?
No money.
Do you have any stronger pain medication?
Advil?
Advil?
Yeah.
Don, would you like?
No.
They're handing them out like candy. Let's all get in. Everybody get in. Yeah, Don, can you take this picture for us?
Yeah.
What are you thinking at the beginning of the fight?
It's simple. Am I going to hurt him before he hurts me?
Yes, there were times, I'm sure
This is Grand Prix to crown the greatest fighter in the world. He has come back from the brink. Let's see if he can pull out a victory over Mark Coleman. Have you spoken to either about fighting such a good friend for a life-changing amount of money?
I faced it all.
I just need you to let me in.
I took the bull.
Always about you. Only about fighting you.
Let's fucking go. My big strong man, I love you.
I think he wants your autograph.
Sure, no problem. No fighting.
our next Safdie bro movie is made by that sweetie Petey cutie patootie Benny Safdie.
He's very cutie.
You see his little smiley. He seems like such an affable guy. I mean, Josh looks like I'm sure Josh is a sweet guy as well.
I'm sure.
But he kind of seems like he really wants to be kind of auteur. And it looks like Benny is trying to go for, like, at the very least, I don't think the Smashing Machine is as good as Marty Supreme.
No.
But this movie does feel extremely sincere.
I think that the split that they've made, Marty Supreme definitely feels like a follow-up to Uncut Gems and Good Time. Is it Good Time or Good Times?
Good Time.
But Benny, some of the stuff that he has done on his own, like even The Curse, which is a crazy show
that he wrote, yeah.
But it's about relationships and people and how you deal with these insane situations, right? Like, I think that Benny's like the heart of it, you know? And so he's gone off in a different direction, it feels, where and the word we were looking for last night is passion project.
Yeah.
This is a passion project for him. You can tell that he really wanted to tell this guy's story.
He's a real admirer of this subject, Mark Kerr. When we're talking about the Smashing Machine, written and directed by Benny, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Emily "Smokin' Blunts," Ryan Bader, Bas Rutten, Alexander Usyk. Ryan Bader, Bas Rutten, and Alexander Usyk are all former MMA fighters. Ryan Bader plays Coleman.
Loved him. He was great.
Bas Rutten plays the coach.
Also great.
And Alexander Usyk plays Igor. So
I could tell he was more of a wrestler than an actor, but he did good at what he was doing.
But the thing is, we are wrestling fans.
I said wrestler.
So when we see The Rock, there felt like times where it felt like we're watching wrestling.
Grappling.
Yeah.
There is some like Greco-Roman shit happening.
Oh, there's a scene, and I don't know if I can find it, from Marty Supreme, where the Kevin O'Leary's character is trying to explain to Marty that we can do an exhibition and make a lot of money by losing to the champion in an exhibition game.
Putting over.
And he has to explain to Marty, because Marty's mode is like, why wouldn't I just win? And essentially in that scene, Kevin O'Leary is explaining the core business concept of professional wrestling in that scene, where it's like, no, you can win by losing, by making this guy's national hero status in his home country, and you can make a lot more money in that way. So I thought that was interesting. But back to the Smashing Machine, the Safdie tension, it's a lot more muted. The tension is a little bit there, but it's not as blatant as you might think it would be for a movie about mixed martial artists in the ring. And I really got to say that the ring, the fighting parts were just kind of okay for me. I didn't really catch a lot of visceral nature from it. A lot of it felt like I didn't feel a lot of tension in those parts for some reason. Like I didn't feel extreme drama in the ring. The drama all seems to center around the relationship that Mark Kerr has with his girlfriend, who's played by Emily Blunt.
The only time that I felt real tension in the ring was when he lost that match because Igor was kicking him in the head illegally.
Yeah.
And then at the end as well.
Because there was cheating.
Yeah, because when there's cheating and then when he freezes. Like, I felt that, but again, it was more emotion of, this is unfair.
Mm-hmm.
But I get what you're saying. I did like, however, in comparison to the ping pong matches in Marty Supreme, which are very like quick and cutting, and we're going from this to this to that. Benny took time with this to, you know, what are the guys doing before they start? You know, they don't show like the entire MMA match every time, but it did feel like he makes a point to show these bits that you wouldn't think he would, like this guy playing a guitar solo of the, you know, Japanese national anthem.
Oh, that guy I wrote because music's a big role in this movie too. Tomiyasu Hotai with a.
It's just cool. Like there's just these moments where you're like, oh, that is such a Japanese thing that they would do before an exhibition.
It really does show a lot of. We watch Japanese wrestling, and there's a similarities in terms of presentation of combat sports. So this movie does give a nice little inline because he goes and fights in Pride. I mean, it starts out in freestyle wrestling early UFC where they're just blatantly call it Ultimate Fighting Championship. And I am aware of the early days of this. I don't watch UFC now, but I am aware. I used to have tapes of the first few UFC.
And this is very early because he fights in the 14th ever cage match in the octagon.
Yeah.
Which is now where they all fight.
And in Japan, they had Pride, which was like a lot about like fight. It was almost like
he compared it to like NBA and ABA.
Yeah. Like
it's like just
it's a little different. And I'm watching old clips of that. Like it's almost like they're really fighting in Pride, but it almost has a weird like pro wrestling quality in and of itself with the presentation. Some people look weirdly mismatched when you see them in Pride. But Pride did not last too long. But the legend of Pride, that promotion still kind of lingers amongst MMA fans today. Like it still gets talked about. The Rock's role here was seen as like an atypical breakout. He's a big, huge movie star, but this movie was like, this is a role unlike any other. And maybe so, but I wouldn't say that The Rock was too far out of his wheelhouse.
No, not at all.
He was just playing a guy that was kind of more grounded into this type of a lifestyle. And the way he portrays Mark Kerr is like he loses his temper sometimes, and he has these issues with drugs, but he talks like a very composed and thoughtful guy.
He's a very emotional man.
Yeah, and he tries to be very emotionally honest. The way he talked reminded me of the way John Cena talks in interviews, where he's trying to be very poised, very composed, maybe trying a little too hard to sound deep. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of got that vibe. Like, and I bet, The Rock maybe has some of those qualities in him as well. He is a charismatic man who is composed and controlled, and that's how he's created this career.
There were a couple times lines that Mark Kerr spoke in this movie, like when he's giving an interview and the man keeps asking him, well, what happens if you do lose? And he's like, that's not something I can even imagine because it's never happened. And I'm trying to explain this intellectually to you, but I don't feel that you understand me.
Yeah.
Like there's multiple times where he's like, I don't think that you understand where I'm coming from. And it's not that he has relationships and he cares about people, but, everyone has a little bit of narcissism.
Yeah,
and,
it's definitely there.
The thing that you're dealing with feels the most important in that moment. And he does have addiction issues, but he does seem as though, especially when he's speaking to his girlfriend sometimes, that she's not as emotionally mature as he wants her to be in these situations.
And yeah, their dynamic, I got to give a lot of credit. I really think the performance of the movie is on Emily Blunt here.
Oh, yeah.
More so than Dwayne. Everyone does a good job. A lot of the MMA guys, they're not outside of their wheelhouse. They did a fine job.
But again, Benny, he pulls it out of them, and it's so real.
Probably in the first, third of the movie, we see Mark dealing with addiction. But this movie does not harp on the melodrama of addiction. Yeah. He's just dealing with something, and he's kind of like walking into daze. He's asking for stronger medication, for pain medication from the Pride guys that give him the medication, or the doctors in Japan. Another movie that where the climax requires competing in Japan. The other Safdie movie has the same kind of like setting, and or at least the country setting. We don't really get the rigmarole of watching him in rehab. And I think if people are watching this movie, they might feel like the pacing in that regard, that they didn't get to see that drawn out drama. I could see why people who are so used to seeing that trope in movies might think that this belonged in this movie. But I don't think it actually. I actually kind of really did appreciate that Benny did not have us harp once again on these drawn out, this is my drug. Like, he wanted to make sure that this wasn't a drug movie.
Yeah, even when Mark has his lowest moment and his girlfriend has to call an ambulance, even in that moment, we don't actually see it. We hear the story being told to his friend Coleman, and we see him dealing with it afterwards of realizing the space that he was in. And then we see him walk into rehab, and then we see him walk out of rehab. And I think that's totally makes sense, because this whole movie it's only 3 years of this man's life and career, but it is every every scene is a lead up to, a part of, or the aftermath of one of these competitions.
We don't need to see it. We don't need to see 15 minutes of this guy in withdrawals.
Nope.
We don't. It's okay.
Nope.
The struggle of the addiction is represented better after the fact, after he goes through the process, and his wife is weirdly jealous of his sponsor, and she's going to party, and she's like, I don't have the problem, you have the problem.
You don't want me to go with you to Japan.
I'm not going to say that.
Why?
Dawn.
Just say it.
I just need like a couple of days. That's it. I just need 2 days. That's it. Just to focus.
Are you saying I can't help you focus?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, Dawn, I need you to understand this is a big deal for me. It's the biggest fight ever. I just need a couple of days. That's it. Just a couple of days to focus. Paz is saying I just need it without any distractions.
I got it.
And she's kind of calling him like a goodie. Like, she has her own particular issues too.
A lot in relationships.
Yeah.
I've read stuff about this, and where the one person stops and they talk about it constantly because it's something they have to deal with constantly, is not doing these drugs. And when their partner is drinking or going out, they feel as though that person's being insensitive, but the person who's still going out feels like they're being judged constantly. I mean, it's a scenario that makes sense. She is more messed up in the head than we realize.
Mm-hmm.
And we find that out towards the end.
You know what? I don't fucking get it.
What don't you get,
I don't fucking get
Dawn?
it because I do everything for you around here, okay? I book your appointments, I cook for you, I clean your fucking underwear,
I know
and I'm
you
the big
do. I
fucking
know
distraction.
you're not. I've thanked you in the past, and I appreciate everything you do. This is a crazy tournament. This is the biggest fight of my life.
Just say you don't want me to go.
I'm not gonna say that
Yeah,
to
I
you.
want
It
you to say
confuses
it
the
to me.
situation.
There's
I'm
nothing
not gonna
confusing
say
about
that.
it. You just look me in the eye and you tell me you hate me and you don't want me to go.
What the fuck are you I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, I think she had more problems than we learned about as well.
But and we'll get back to her and the way she's represented, which is my probably favorite part of the movie. And I'll get into my favorite scene of the movie. But the setting of this movie is like from around 1998 to around 2001, right?
97 to 2000 is what the movie said.
Just like in Marty Supreme, how it was the era-specific setting, we get music of the time here as well. We get just all kinds of songs. One is like, I thought it was Debbie Deb, but it was Little Susie. And I get Debbie Deb and Little Susie. I've gotten Little Susie and Debbie Deb confused in the past. But lately, I just feel like I've been randomly hearing. Debbie Deb was this this pop singer who was kind of around the Miami scene. And she was actually sampled in the last Kendrick Lamar album. I learned about Debbie Deb a few years ago, and I got weird because I really love Miami bass music, like Quad City DJs and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I do love that kind of music. And so I learned about her when, like, trying to learn more about that scene, and it seems like since I've learned about Debbie Deb, she just pops up randomly everywhere. But again, it was Little Susie, not Debbie Deb. But other people are Brian McKnight, that Back at One song, "You're like a dream come true," and Bruce Springsteen's Jungle Land is in here. I think that plays when they're the climactic scene of the relationship where he seems to, obviously he's got to break up with her, but well, she goes a little nuts there. We'll let you, probably the most dramatic part of the movie. And like Sugar Ray, there's the Elvis version of My Way. I feel like the way you thought about Everybody Wants to Rule the World and Marty Supreme, I kind of felt that way about the usage of My Way in this song.
It was also very weird to me, and I told you this as soon as the movie was over, that they had Elvis's My Way, but then they had someone else covering another Elvis song, and it's like, did you just not want Elvis singing two Elvis songs? And if that's the problem, like, think of another song.
I'm kind of imagining if maybe Benny was like, hey, Mark, I want you to pick some songs for your movie, and I'll pick some of mine. Because there's also shit like Cleaners from Venus, which is Martin Newell, this lo-fi pop indie outfit. And I love Cleaners from Venus, but like they're not a very known band, and you know Benny just likes Cleaners from Venus.
You got excited when...
Well, it transitioned into the real, near the end, we were hearing Cleaners from Venus, and the song transitions into the real Mark Kerr in a grocery store.
Yeah.
And you can hear Cleaners from Venus playing in the grocery store. I was like, what grocery store do I have to go to hear fucking Cleaners from Venus? But yeah, it's the music of the time. But one distinct thing you pointed out that was so of that 90s time was that Emily Blunt's character is covered in glitter lotion. I totally forgot about glitter lotion.
I had so much glitter lotion. I just had glitter. We would just have jars of glitter in the 90s.
Look, back in that time, I definitely tried to fuck every girl with glitter lotion on.
I mean,
but they were like, sorry, I have a felon boyfriend.
I didn't have a felon boyfriend.
Who will cut your legs off. Yeah, glitter lotion. That's a perfect. That's a lovely little detail.
Yeah, she walked in to see him before one of his matches, and yeah, she looked gorgeous. But yeah, she was glittery.
But I want to talk about my favorite scene in this movie, and it is the graviton scene.
Yes.
Where Mark and his girlfriend. Sorry, I forget her name. Dawn is the character's name, or the real person's name as well. She wants to ride the graviton, and she explains that it spins.
There's no way I can't ride that.
Why?
Why? Because my tummy. You know what that would do to my tummy. I would get sick everywhere.
No, it's about perspective, okay? On the inside, you don't feel it. It's like you're not moving. You're like pinned against the wall, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Trying to be like, it's fine. It's all a matter of perspective, she says.
Yeah, she's like, it's moving, but you're still.
And he's like, well, my tummy. It's funny. He's like, but what about my tummy? And then he asks the guy if he can stand in the middle.
The center part in there, that's the thing that stays still, right? Can I stand in there, in the middle part?
In the center part?
Yes.
No, that'd be a serious liability issue.
Well, where would you recommend I stand then? Because I don't want to get sick on the ride, but I do want to ride with it.
You don't want to get sick on the ride? I would suggest you don't go on the ride. If you can't handle it.
Okay. Well, it's not that I can't handle it. It's just I'm choosing not to go on.
Okay, I'm going to go on the ride.
She goes in and we see her, and I have a memory as a childhood of riding the graviton while fucking Nirvana's In Bloom plays, and all these kids are just like flipping around and going to the side, and that's what Dawn does in this movie. And it's this weird moment where it seems like, you know, you'd think that so much control is required for Mark's life to work out. Like, she makes his smoothie wrong. She misremembers how many bananas he does.
And he just dumps it in the sink.
And instead of politely just drinking what he's got, he just dumps it and makes it and explains to her. And you probably related to Dawn in some scenes where he felt like compelled to just over-explain his thoughts.
He just had to keep telling her, like, I'm on whole milk now, and you used skim, but you didn't know that, and that's fine. Like, it was, yeah, I get it.
Because he's so locked in. He's so fucking locked in. He can't shake his brain, and he doesn't know if he's being understood. And I don't think he's trying to be rude. He's actually being as polite as he possibly can, but he's being also annoying at the same time.
Yeah.
But we see that Dawn, life is looser, maybe even freer in a way. Dawn maybe even seems braver than Mark. Braver than this guy who gets into a ring and gets punched in the fucking face.
There's a part where he tells her that one of the times he gets violent, not with her, but he breaks a door, is because he says that she's treating him like a child. But he acts like a child in a lot of moments, like when he's like, oh, but my tummy. I don't know. It's just the way he worded things. And he does have this sort of like big, goofy, like innocent look on his face, even when he's like this huge man. And this is true for the real Mark. We looked at we saw photos, and I do think that The Rock really embodies that really well. You know, this just very nice guy who's trying to be friends with everybody. One of my favorite moments is in the scene where she's got the glitter and he loses his first match. Afterwards, she's trying to console him, and he's just he'd been crying, and he's just talking about how, like, this is the worst thing that could have happened, right? And then the other folks come in from the other team, the team that beat him, and his people from that country, and he immediately snaps out of having any emotion about having lost, and he is smiley, and he is like greeting them. They ask Dawn to take the photo, and she's just like silently crying, because it is, again, that example, like you're saying, like, she's more free. He's so locked in, like, he has to pretend to be someone that he's not, but he's constantly trying to, like, navigate that.
I feel like I'm in this scenario where, as we're talking through this movie, I realize it's probably a little better than I thought it was when we first stopped watching it.
Agree.
because as we parse through it, it's like, oh, we're kind of understanding these characters and the nuances of their performances. And but back to that part where he punches that door, that balsa wood looking fucking door. That is the kind of door they use in pro wrestling, and it's like that part kind of took me a little out. Like,
because the top half of the door just like split off.
Yeah, what if
broke
he,
in a way that did not make sense?
What if just a part of the door was like rigged and he just broke a piece?
Hanging off the hinges or something.
Yeah, that part was like, oh boy.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe Benny was
lot.
like, that moment seemed real and visceral, but that didn't look real enough in that moment.
And maybe that is the story that the real Mark told him, but it just didn't seem like it probably went down exactly like that.
But there's another thing that I'm kind of like Natalie and Brugli, I'm torn over. I don't know if I care as much for, and you mentioned that when we were watching it, that when he's in the fight, the tournament, and he's going to fight his buddy, maybe not, where we get commentary that sounds like it's out loud.
Yeah, it sounds like the whole audience can hear what's being said, and I hated that because that's not how it would be.
Well, I mean, I can see it just kind of like a choice, but I don't know if it was like that compelling of a choice. It felt a little awkward, that particular choice.
Well, because then, in some movies they do it where it kind of switches to like, oh, we're listening to the announcers now. Oh, we're back to the ring, right? But yeah, it felt like everyone was hearing these things. So these announcers are like saying negative things about these dudes and they're hearing them. Like that just seemed really weird.
And this movie felt like for a movie about a guy who fights, there's just something, it kind of felt like a casual stroll through this guy's life.
Yes.
It seemed like it made it a point to not be really too over the top in the melodrama. And I kind of liked how easygoing it was ultimately.
Yeah.
It makes it stand out. It really did seem like they didn't want this to be just another fucking drug movie. And look, I got burnt out on fucking drug movies like 20 years ago, so I ain't complaining about that. But at the end of the movie, we actually get the real Mark, and he's at the transitions into the real Mark in 2025, shopping in a grocery store. And we imagine Benny Safdie just being like, as you shop around, just think about the fact that a movie about your life is being made. And
he keeps just saying to himself.
Yeah, and he's walking through the parking lot and he's like, unbelievable.
Amazing.
This
is amazing.
And then
he just looks so happy.
And then he
content.
loads his groceries and he looks at and he looks directly at the camera. He's like, thanks guys.
See you guys later.
See
I thought
you.
that's what it was.
And then he's gone. That's the end of the movie. I actually like that ending.
I have to say,
there was something very sweet about this. Is a very sincere movie.
Yes, the ending did feel very sweet. It was a little on the cheesy side, but I liked that we saw him. I always like when you incorporate the real people. It does take you a little out of it when you realize that today on this day he's probably only 10 years older than The Rock, and that was 25 years ago.
They're probably less than 10 years apart.
That's true. They may be the same age. That is one thing. The Rock does look like him, but he does look way older than he would have been.
Yeah, when he shaves his head in the movie, it's like you had to like make your brain be like, not really The Rock.
That's when he looked like
The Rock, but not really The Rock.
Yeah.
But he had the chin pubes though, so that helps.
That was nasty.
Wow, you hear that, Mark?
Sorry, Mark. I don't like chin pubes. You don't have them now. You got a beard. You're good. Beards are good.
And that's the smashing machine. I think there is a real sweetness to it, and I kind of appreciate you. I know it definitely feels like that. Just it is a passion of Benny's. You can tell he's a fan. The history of it might like pass a lot of casual viewers by. I think we did catch how much he cared, but I could see a lot of the casual audience just thinking this is boring in a way, you know?
Well, because like you said, we've seen so many drug movies, and even like the real stories of, like wrestlers that we learn about, things like that. We were waiting constantly for the other shoe to drop and for something really terrible to happen.
We didn't really
for him
know
to
his
hurt
story.
Dawn or for him to hurt himself.
Like, when's he gonna punch her?
Yeah, we really thought it was going to go that way, and I think that's why I also like it more now talking about it than I did watching it, because now I know that it's just this story of how this guy actually did really get like out from under this thing and figured out how to live his life,
So I think to give it a lot of praise for the nuances of a relationship when dealing with addiction without hamming on the more melodramatic aspects of dealing with addiction.
Yeah.
I think I fall on a 3.75.
I think I'm a 3.25.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I maybe was there prior to the convo, and then I went up like
I was a 3 before.
Yeah.
So I have gone up.
So that's a 7.
And that's a totally like watch it movie. You know, that's a ranking. That's a good ranking.
It's worthy. It's worthy. And I did love that graviton scene quite a bit.
The graviton scene really was lovely.
They might call it something else in your local fair or something, but it's the spinny thing that presses you against the wall.
I thought it was called a gravitron.
And maybe it's gravitron. I don't know.
Is this like another mid-drift thing? I just always thought the word was something else.
No, they change the name of these rides all the time. So
well, it wasn't even called that. It was called like alien abduction in the movie.
Yeah, like I'm probably right in Chicago and you're probably right in like Seattle. You know? But yeah, this is kind of like a precursor to our Trilogists. This isn't a trilogy, but this is 3 movies that are two of them are in the theater now, and one you can rent. The price is now down to like $4 for the Smash Machine. So, you know, these are new rentals are like $15. I'm never paying $15 for a fucking rental. Well, around the corner and not too far from now, we are going to be having a Trilogist episode of the first 3 Mission Impossible movies. And then we will start watching for our states, our part 1 of Delaware.
We're going in order of statehood.
You're getting so excited thinking about all the movies about Delaware you're going to hear us talk about. But that's it. That's all we got for today. And yeah, remember our nominations and let's see how right we are once they announce it at the end of the month. All right? Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Projectors podcast. You can help us out by subscribing to us on YouTube or your preferred podcast listening application where we have hundreds more film discussions. Though our more recent episodes will be spread out, we are currently reposting episodes of our very first film podcast called Documenteers in which we discuss documentary films. We're reposting those episodes every Tuesday until we're done, as well as anthology collections of our shorts once a month. Help us out by subscribing, recommending, listening and leaving a nice review of the show wherever you can do such things. Thank you once again, and we formally apologize for anything Bob ever said ever.
Did I see you in the street yesterday? Or did I see you waiting in a cafe? Gazing out of the window in the days, remembering the night at the barricade. You're nice, but you're getting much older now. It's personal issue. Long time, soft human, sad eyes, cold heart.
Spread your fire across the world. You need me.